So for a long time, Bendy and the Ink Machine was my favourite game, and I said it'd be a long time before something tops it. Well, about that, something topped it. Hey guys, Danimation here. It's been a while, hasn't it? Yeah, I've been busy, so it's been a while since I made a video like this. But screw it, now's the time to make a video like this. So, yeah, the Little Nightmares games. Honestly surprised I haven't talked about them as much, considering now I hold Little Nightmares 2 up on a pedestal as not only my favourite horror game, my favourite game. So, I want to make this video explaining to you why the Little Nightmares series is peak horror for me. It is, I don't want to say perfect, because that's a strong word, but it is pretty damn close to perfect. So, something I hear all the time, both from game critics and really people who want to get into the horror genre, but are kind of turned off by it well, this. Games like Five Nights at Freddy's and Bendy and the Ink Machine, and now Poppy Playtime, they think that now, if you just show a bunch of jump scares, ooh, spooky. Just get scared for about 5 minutes and that's a horror game for you. So, yeah, pretty much went good up until like 2017, and apparently now, games are over-relying on jump scares to be scary, and if you know that the game's going to have a lot of jump scares in it, you can kind of see when they're going to show up. And that's kind of what makes jump scares kind of a moot point now. If you know a jump scare's coming, it's not really a jump scare, is it? But that's a key thing in what makes Little Nightmares that diamond in the rough of horror. Like I said, most horror games rely on jump scares now, and honestly, that kind of makes people roll their eyes to these games. But that is why I always want to present Little Nightmares to them, because this game does not have an over-reliance on jump scares. It does have jump scares, but it doesn't rely on them to be scary. Little Nightmares relies on its imagery to be scary more than the jump scares, which honestly doesn't make this game a cheap scare like the other games. Little Nightmares is truly a piece of art, and it sits on the top of, like, horror gaming and horror genre in general. Little Nightmares is, like, top tier for me. Generally because these two games are a piece of art, and they're not a cheap scare. See, like, this is what I mean. Like, the imagery in this game is both beautiful and terrifying, to the point that almost any frame of these games could be like a disturbing painting. Like, you could take a screenshot of this, make like put on a filter or something. I know I'm jumbling up my words, but I don't care. I'm not recording this again. And you've got yourself a painting. Like, look at some of this. This could be hanging up in an art gallery. Like I say, the Little Nightmares series relies on its beautiful yet disturbing imagery to creep out their players, not the jump scares. And honestly, for me, that makes this more of a highbrow, more elegant form of horror, compared to, you know, the indie horror genre, like the jump scare mascot horror genre that, at this point, has kind of become a parody of itself. But of course, what's a horror game without a complicated and complex story? Well, something YouTubers can actually enjoy and not have to theorize for every 5 minutes about. But of course, Little Nightmares isn't that. Oh my god. Sorry about that. It's just, yeah, Little Nightmares does have a confusing, complex story, but also, it's a beautiful story, and the beautiful part of this story is, no dialogue, you can take away what you want from this story, and no one can tell you you're wrong. Unlike stuff like FNAF and Bendy, where, you know, you've got MatPat breathing over your shoulder. That's probably why there's never been a MatPat Little Nightmares video, but, you know, watch the second I post this video, there's gonna be a game theory on Little Nightmares. Whatever. But, pretty much, let's go through a run-through of what I think is the Little Nightmares story. Yeah. So, cue the joke about a beautiful game. This guy is actually this guy. This girl is the overall main character, but you can't exactly trust her. The main villains are usually in some way connected to the player character, probably being related to them, or literally them from the future. The food is probably made from people or something, and for some reason they keep eating it. Literally no one can get off their TV screen, and it causes them to develop the intelligence of the average TikTok user. Little Nightmares 2 is actually a prequel, so you can play the first two games in pretty much whatever order you want, and it'll still make sense. These little bastards don't deserve to be in the game. Yeah, I don't like them. I've died too many times to them. Sounds like a skill issue, I know, but I hate those things. But yeah, the point of this video is basically to say, if you think horror gaming has kind of run its course, or you're trying to look for something, you know, actually good to play, or if you're trying to get into the horror genre and jump scares kind of turn you off to it, try Little Nightmares. I guarantee you, you won't regret it. And apart from that, it's just to show my love to these games, and really just how much I love these games. So, yeah. Here's to Little Nightmares 3 being just as good as the first two. Otherwise, you're going to be in for a rage video. My disappointment will be immeasurable, and my day will be ruined. Oh yeah, and they made a podcast. I've only listened to one episode, and I'm not really sure how it ties into the games, but once I listen to all of them and figure it out, you'll be in for a video. Danimation out.